Dear children, motion is a common experience in our life. We observe birds flying in the air, buses, autos, carts moving on roads, trains on railway tracks, and many other objects around us in motion. Apart from observing the motion of objects around us, we ourselves experience motion while we are walking, running, playing, etc. Let us learn about motion and its types from the lesson Motion and Time, Class 7, Science in this session. Learning outcomes. At the end of this session, you will be able to understand about motion and rest, uniform motion, non-uniform motion, translatory motion, rectilinear motion, curvilinear motion, rotatory motion, oscillatory motion. Keywords. Motion, change in position of an object over time. Rest, objects that do not change their position with time are said to be at rest. Uniform motion, an object travels equal distances in equal intervals of time. Non-uniform motion, an object travels unequal distances in equal intervals of time. Rectilinear motion, motion of objects in a straight path. Curvilinear motion, motion of objects along a curved path. Rotatory motion, motion that occurs when a body rotates on its own axis. Oscillatory motion, the to and fro motion of an object about a fixed point always following the same path. Before starting, let us look at the concept map of this session. Observe the picture shown on the screen. What difference do you notice in the position of the car and the tree? Why has this difference occurred? It is because the position of the car has changed with respect to the tree in 2 seconds. But there is no change in the position of the tree with respect to its surroundings. An object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to its surroundings in a given time. An object is said to be at rest if there is no change in its position with respect to its surroundings in a given time. Thus, we can say that the tree is at rest and the car is in motion while we observe them over a period of time. Imagine that you are sitting in the moving car beside the driver. As the car moves, the distance between you and the landmarks like buildings, trees, poles, etc. outside the car changes. This change in the scene you view through the window indicates that the car is moving. However, your position with respect to the driver of the car remains the same. That is, you and the driver of the car are at rest with respect to each other. But both of you are in motion with respect to the surroundings outside the car. A body may be at rest with respect to one set of surroundings and at the same time be in motion with respect to another set of surroundings. Thus, motion is relative to the observer. A body is said to be in motion if its position keeps on changing with time. In our daily life, we experience certain motions in which the change in position of objects remain the same for a time interval. In some other motion, the change in position of an object will not be the same for a given time interval. Observe the following tables showing distances traveled by two different cars for different intervals of time. We notice that for car A, the change in position every 10 seconds is 150 meter. But for car B, the change in position is not constant. Thus, the motion of car A is uniform and the motion of car B is non-uniform. If a body covers equal distances in equal intervals of times, it is said to be in uniform motion. If a body covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time, it is said to be in non-uniform motion. Based on the path taken by the bodies in motion, we classify the motion of bodies as translatory motion, rotatory motion, oscillatory motion. Translatory motion. Let's consider a bus moved from point A to B in a certain time interval. We see that all the parts of the bus like wheels, headlights, windows, etc. move along from point A to B. If all parts of a moving body move in the direction of motion, then the motion is said to be translatory motion. If a body in translatory motion moves along a straight line, then motion is called rectilinear motion. Soldiers marching in a parade, movement of a car on a straight road are examples of rectilinear motion. If a body in translatory motion moves along a curved path, then motion is called curvilinear motion. The hands of a clock, the movement of a bus on a hill station road are examples of curvilinear motion. Rotatory motion. Let us examine the motion of the blades of a ceiling fan. Consider one blade of the rotating ceiling fan as shown. While the blade of a fan is moving, the points A, B and C on the blade move to A1, B1 and C1 first and then move to A2, B2 and C2 positions. Thus, when a fan is in motion, each point on the blade moves in a circular path around the center of the fan which is fixed. Here, we observe that the position of a fan is not changing. Only the blades of the fan are changing their position continuously and moving in a circular path around a fixed point. The imaginary line passing through this fixed point is called the axis of rotation. This type of motion is called rotatory motion. Rotatory motion means the motion of all particles of moving body following a circular path with respect to a fixed center or axis of rotation. Few objects have both translatory and rotatory motion. Example, the rotation of a ball on the ground. The ball on the surface of the ground moves from one end to the other end, and all the particles of the ball also move along the direction of motion of the ball. Hence, the ball is in translatory motion. Similarly, each particle of the ball moves in a circular path about a particular line when the ball rolls on the surface. Therefore, it is in rotatory motion. Oscillatory motion. The to and fro motion of an object about a fixed point, always following the same path, is called oscillatory motion. For example, the girl on a swing moves backward and forward on either side of the rest position of the swing. Points to remember. An object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to its surroundings in a given time. An object is said to be at rest if there is no change in its position with respect to its surroundings in a given time. If a body covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, it is said to be in uniform motion. If a body covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time, it is said to be in non-uniform motion. If all parts of a moving body move in the direction of motion, then the motion is said to be translatory motion. If a body in translatory motion moves along a straight line, then motion is called rectilinear motion. If a body in translatory motion moves along a curved path, then motion is called curvilinear motion. Thank you.